get it set up in the new shed. This is very exciting. So this is just going to be like a rough setup for just now, until more is explained in the next month or so. So the setup that we had for the clipping, so it's still got baby's prattly in it and stuff, so I'm just going to put the Pari, reverse the Pari in here, connect it on there just now, and yeah, I'm going to run the lambs through, weigh them, see how they're looking, see if there's any ready. If there is, they'll probably be going tomorrow, so yeah, let's see how the earlies are doing. Here she is in all her glory. So it's not too bad. Gave it a good clean last year at the end of the season. So obviously we didn't have this shed last year, so this is the first time setting up. So there is some very exciting things happening with Pari this summer. In this shed, this will all be different. So yeah, looking forward to getting that all set up, making life a hell of a lot easier. Being undercover, big difference for us. Hoping the yows all flow really well through this, get used to being in here, and yeah, it'll just make life easier, I hope. But I am so excited to get this up and running today. The lambs, the first time through, are always a wee bit tricky because obviously they've never seen this before, they've never been through it. I'm hoping that because the yows have now been through it all of last year, that they might be a wee bit better. These lambs are my early, so they're start of March born, so I am hoping that they'll flow really nicely because they're that bit older. But yeah, we'll wait and see. Let's get it set up and see what's going to happen. To lift her up, to take the wheels off, you use this little pump here. So we've got a handle, and if I start pumping, you should see that bit fall down. So then that'll lift up the front and allow me, should tilt back. It. So the back is on the ground. Right, pump up a bit more until the wheels are off the ground. That should do it. So that wheel's free. So what we do now is unhook these pins either side, and always remember and have the catch up the way, because if you have it that way, it'll catch on the ground and you'll bend it. Always have them up the way. Same for this side. And then this should just slide out. Might be harder one-handed, but you get the idea. So it slides out, so I'll go and do that. Nice and loose. A bit hard because obviously the surface that we're on just trying to build up. Just put that out the way for just now. Then here, turn the oil to go the other way, and then she starts lowering herself down. Ta-da! On the ground, ready to go. These things are really narrow, I found, so I might need to look at that. Bloody genius. I thought it'd be too thick. I don't know how this is going to work because we've obviously never done it with the Prattley before. On the straw because everything gets like stuck. As I say, this is just a temporary sort of, or just now until we get the other setup here. This is all so exciting. You can obviously adjust these sides in or out depending how quickly you want them to flow. Because they're not being through here. It's always, I find it slightly tricky at this stage because the ewes are obviously still woolly, so therefore they need slightly wider. But obviously the lambs are smaller and they can maybe turn a wee bit, so it's a bit of trial and error. Once they're in and running through it, I'll have a better idea. Same for the magic eyes of how far back or forward I need them. Yeah. See what else. Here. That'll do. That'll do. Out. Here we go. Pari set up. The sheep are in. Let's see if they run. Scared. So I've got the tablet here. Just set up the tablet. So we've got gate 1. We're doing it all by weight today. So gate 1 is the smaller lambs, anything from 0 to 40 kilos. Sorry, I'm just Yeah, she's got scared all of a sudden. Okay, gate 1 is anything from 0 to 40 kilos, and that's some of the early lambs. Anything that is going at gate 2 is going to be 40 to 50 kilos, and that is the lambs that are ready. And I've also asked it to hold them because I'll give them a wee spray because they're not going off farm today. And then gate 3 is anything over 50 kilos, and that's going into the early yow category. So we'll just do that. And then because I've said at the start that there was new animals, because obviously these lambs are going to be new, they're new season, they're new lambs. So I'll just fill in all this now and then we'll be ready to go. So there's sheep, tag colour. I'm just going to do yellow because the lamb's tags are yellow. Breed, they are Scottish mules. No, technically they're not, they're Texels because these are the lambs. Texel. Date of birth, I just go from start of March for the earlies. Sex, unknown because there's both male and female. They weren't purchased. Don't want to hold new animals. Good to go. It's an absolute boiling hot day out here, which is lovely, but better in here. Nice, cool shed, away from the sun. Don't need to clutter yourself in sun cream and get all horrible and greasy. Blissful. Let's get going. That'll do. That'll do. Here, Tara, here. Tara, here. Let's get a few more in. Here. Come by. Come by. Come by. That'll do. That'll do. That'll do. Nice lambs. Got one that's ready. Lovely. One sec. Turn around. Stay here. Roxy, get out! Come on. That'll do. Out. Here. Out. Well, considering this is the first time that both the ewes and the lambs have been through in this shed, and obviously the lambs full stop, here. They're not doing too badly. I mean, there has been a few minor hiccups, and they're always a bit funny when it's the first time, and our lambs are still quite young and whatnot, so we'll get there. And as I say, this isn't the perfect setup. We could really do with some backing gates in the race, because as you can see, it's a little bit wide, but we'll get there. Shh, 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 shh. Go on, lass. Go on, mummy. Go on, mummy. Another one. Nice lambs though. Oh no, come on, out. Out you go. Come on, let's push him forward. It's probably her lamb. So I never actually got to finish my video there. I got a wee bit short for time. So ran all the earlies through, weighed all the lambs, weighed all the ewes, put them in their different mobs, and I got a grand total of 4 lambs that are ready. So they're ranging from 40, I think 46 something is the lightest, up to 50 kilos. So I'm going to send them to the live ring tomorrow at the mart, see how they get on. I think lambs are doing okay at the moment, and then I'm also going to go through some ewes that we're no longer going to be breeding with. So if it's, you know, stuff that's maybe had lambing sickness, lambs have maybe died and we've not put lambs on her for whatever reason. Just the ewes that we always collect, I mean everyone has them that don't rear lambs unfortunately, that I'm not going to be keeping. I'm going to send them to the mart as well, and yeah, hopefully get some decent money for them. So as you can see there, I've put up a wee screen record. So as I was scanning the ewes tags, it then connects to herd watch, or flock watch, sorry, and then it deducts them from your list, so it then creates a wee group, so I can now send that to my computer, print it off, and I have a record of the ewes that we've sold today. It's that quick, it's that simple, and there's none of this, you have to scan them and then you've got to go back to herd watch or flock watch and pick out individually what they are, or write them on a bit of paper somewhere, read every tag. That quick, that simple. Keep the records right. Get it done when you're doing it, because I always find that is when mistakes get made, is when you think, oh, I'll do it tonight or I'll do it later. Just do it there and then. Done, dusted. So just back from dropping off those ewes and lambs at the Mart. So we'll wait and see how they get on. I've got one more field to shift off grass. I need to do that today because I'm off farm tomorrow. So I'm away, going to Edinburgh for a very exciting opportunity that I have been kindly invited to. So I'll fill you all in and more on that as and when it's happening. So that's tomorrow. So yeah, really excited about that.
Good evening, members of Scottish Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to be here this evening and thank you for inviting me to speak. It's a privilege to talk to you and I'd like to tell you a bit about our family farm and about the support businesses like ours need to survive and thrive. I farm with my dad. We farm just under 1,400 acres, which runs from 500 feet up to 1,000 feet, growing some crops on the lower lying ground with plenty of upland grazing for our 900 Scottish mules. We have just recently finished what seemed like the longest lambing ever in the horrific weather. We were very lucky and I'm very thankful to have a new shed, which meant that we could lamb all our ewes inside for the first time. It definitely reduced our losses, which would have run into the hundreds if we had been lambing outside. Now we have some better weather, the lambs are thriving. We will finish them selling them through Dumbia through the May Select scheme. We also keep about 200 suckler cows, half of them spring calving inside from February and the remaining 110 outdoors from August onwards. We sell all our calves as stores, mainly as we're an upland farm so we don't have the capacity to finish them. We grow some spring barley using the straw for bedding alongside buying in additional straw, and feed the barley to our weaned calves. It's a fairly typical farm for our part of Scotland, and since I returned home 6 years ago, we have grown our enterprises. But that's not what has been happening on most farms. In those 6 years, Scotland has seen a fall of 10% in suckler cow numbers, while the number of breeding ewes has dropped by almost 4%. Alongside the drop of breeding stock numbers, the cost of everything has risen. Machinery, fertiliser and other inputs have risen by a ridiculous amount, and being price takers, we cannot push those rises on to anyone else. For an example, a standard livestock tractor with a small front loader, one of the smaller ones that you see nowadays, in 2018 cost around £68,000. Today it's over £101,000. That's an increase of nearly 50%. In the same period of time, fertiliser prices have fluctuated hugely. For example, an Origin 2010-10 was £270 a tonne in 2018, but in 2022 hit an all-time high of £795 a tonne. That's an increase of 191% over this period. Very simply, our input costs such as machinery and fertiliser have increased by approximately 50% and 190%, but our revenue for the products that we produce, such as cattle and lamb, has only increased by approximately 20% for cattle and 30% for sheep. How does this add up? Going forward, with no certainty and no support, businesses will no doubt not be able to take these losses and will have to cease existence. Yes, cattle and sheep prices are good just now, but will they stay there? There's no certainty. And with that lack of confidence, there is no certainty that in 10 years' time, I will still be on our family farm, lambing and calving and doing the job that I love. What will happen to farm support? It provides some certainty. It is something that is very important to us at home, even being one of the slightly larger businesses. I read a statistic recently that said 85% of farms would make a loss without direct payments, which will inevitably see them go out of business. Farming is a long-term business. We have cows back in calf for 2025 calving, where these calves will then be on our farm until 2026. We cannot make drastic overnight changes, and we need some certainty, ideally a 10-year plan, and an idea of what the future support will be. As farmers, we don't know what to plan for or which direction to take just now, which is not a good place for any business to be in. I believe we need to be supported to produce food. Food security is something Scotland needs to take much more seriously. This extends to stopping good farmland being planted in trees, something which I feel is criminal. Like most farmers, we have planted trees in less productive areas on our farm, have planted hedges, fenced off watercourses, and we're also in many different environmental schemes, one of which is to encourage ground nesting birds. All of this should be shouted about much more, but we also need to be conscious that there needs to be a balance. We should not be taking good farmland out of production for greening. It scares me that we're going far too quickly into this and that it'll be too late before we realise the effect that it will have on our own food security. Besides losing land to forestry and environmental schemes and businesses' uncertainty, we're also losing valuable land to flooding due to poor river management. Now at home, one of our fields, which is one of the more fertile fields in my lifetime, one of the more fertile fields has become less over my lifetime due to the River Devon now suffers erosion. Over the last 6 years, I have seen 4 acres eroded from this field alone. That's 20 acres of highly productive arable land, which are now just grass and rarely grazed because it's such a high flood risk. When farmers managed the rivers, this didn't happen. We need to be able to manage the rivers again. All of these issues, lack of certainty in agriculture, rising farm input costs, the drive to plant forests, and so on, will have a long-term impact on food production in Scotland. Whether it's Scotch beef, Scotch lamb, Scotch whisky, or even just the basics of porridge, milk and potatoes. I want to make sure that I and other farmers in Scotland have a future. As a country, we need to focus on food security, encouraging people to eat locally, eat seasonal, and for the supermarkets to start paying a fair price. I read recently in The Scottish Farmer an article written by Richard Wright, and I just want to share a quote from this article that stood out to me. If we are to achieve change, farmers need to get the wider public to accept agriculture, not only wants to be part of the solution, but is the best way to achieve it. People need to understand that it's in farmers' interests, since they are the first victims of climate change-driven extreme weather events. If the public understood more about what farmers do, it would certainly help. Which is why I started a social media account, Livestock Farm Her, to give people an insight and an opportunity to see what happens on a farm. I want to bridge the gap between consumers and producers. The gap is certainly getting bigger, and whatever I can do to help close it will hopefully be good. The lack of knowledge in our youngsters about where their food and nutrition comes from is very noticeable. People are following fad diets and notions picked up on social media, as they don't have basic understanding of food, where food comes from and how it's grown on their doorsteps. The Scottish Government must take action to benefit the future health of our population and in turn give backing to farmers who produce the nutrient-dense foods. The agricultural community does a huge amount of charitable work through concepts such as RNCI, Royal Northern Countryside Initiative, which I am very proudly a director of. Visiting schools to provide education, but when most of these volunteers are farmers themselves, with huge financial pressures and lack of subsidy support, it won't be long till these worthy causes feel the pinch too. As a farmer, I enjoy talking to people about what I do and why. I don't shy away from tackling the difficult subjects as well as the straightforward ones. Farming has its ups and downs, and as farmers, we are used to dealing with them all. But we could certainly be doing with some help ensuring Scotland's farming sector has a positive, thriving future, generating food and security for us all. Thank you very much for listening to me and giving me the opportunity to speak here today.